So I've been asked a few times to do a video showing the pens that I use to draw. So I'm just going to show you my drawing pens. So this is a container that I use to store them. I got it at the dollar store. It was like $1.25. So $1.25, which I think is a great deal because these at like Walmart cost, you know, like $3-4, and then if you bought them at an art supply store, it can go upwards of $20. Okay, so it just has a clip in the front. So in here, of course, there's a few, I guess, obvious things. I have 2 erasers, and by obvious I mean things that everybody who draws should have. I also have a pencil sharpener. On that theme, I have a pencil because it's always good to do things in pencil if you're like mapping it out or whatever and you don't want to jump straight into pens. So that's what I have in terms of my pencil supplies. In here at least, it's not even a drawing pencil, it's just a normal pencil from Staples, like $1 for like 24 of them or something. Okay, I also have a hair tie because frequently I go to draw and if it's a day where I'm wearing my hair down, I want to just be able to throw it up so it doesn't get in the way. And then aside of all my pens, which I'm going to go through in a minute, I have a whiteout pen. And yeah, basically if I make a mistake, I can use this to white it out. But also what's good is that if you're scanning your work afterwards, whiteout doesn't show up on a photocopy or on most scanners. So it's perfect because you can make a mistake and on your digital copy of your work it will not show as an error, which is amazing. So the newest addition to my pens are these Faber-Castell, I don't know, Pitt Artist pens. Okay, so I got these because of my massive drawing that I'm doing, which hopefully you guys have seen those videos. If not, I'll link the playlist on the screen as well as below somewhere. But I got these because for that picture I needed some bigger tipped markers. So I got these 2. They're the exact same in B, if that means anything to anyone. I don't understand pen sizing in any way. Yeah, but it's just like a jumbo Sharpie point. So it looks like this is the one that I've worn down a bit, so you can see the point isn't quite sharp all the way. This is a brand new one, so the point is very, very sharp on this one. These ones do have a tip that wears down, and it doesn't wear down like where it stays the same size, but it just like disintegrates. It wears down to the point where, because it is, you know, tipped or whatever, it just flares out, which does make drawing hard, even if there is still ink in the pen, which can be kind of annoying. The other 3 that I have by that brand are also, oh, it's not going to focus. There we go. Are also all the same size, and again, they're both Bs, so I don't know how sizing works because these are obviously smaller pens. These ones, this one has kind of medium tip point. They are all the same from there. Yeah, so these are all the same, and they're just in black. Yeah, just artist pen black. And the other art pens that I carry, like specifically like higher end, better quality pens. I was sure that I had 4 and then the red text one, but whatever. These number them. It totally makes sense the way they do. So of these 4 pens, these 3 are Pigma Micron and this one is a Pigma Graphic pen. The Pigma Graphic pen, the only difference is that it has a kind of angled edge, and it's more of a square. It's not a straight point. You probably shouldn't do this on your hand, but whatever. Pigma Microns are just felt tips, and they're just super, super tiny. Now, what's different about these pens is that the actual nib on here wears down over time, so it's the exact same size all the way around, but it does wear down. So that by the time that happens, your pen is pretty much dead anyway, so it's better than these, which kind of, you know, the last bit of the ink goes to waste if you're not just coloring in a section. Okay, so these pens are 3, 5, or 03, 01, and 05. And that is the size, I'm just going to do it on my hand. That is the size of the 3, 5, and the 1. So as you can see, those are 3 very different sized pen nibs, and they're all very tiny. What I like about these is that they're archival ink quality, and I think that's the big thing with most people who want to have quality art pens and think they need that. It's not that your image won't turn out if you don't have a quality pen, it's that the ink might not be archival, so it might not do well in the future. But if you're not trying to be an artist and your work is just for you, or it doesn't matter what's happening to your work 100 years from now, then you don't need these fancy $5 pens when you can just get, you know, regular pens. Okay, so the next ones that I have are my Copics. Okay, so these are my Copic markers, and they are also in a formatting that I do not understand, aside from the fact that the letters are fat nibs and the points are small nibs. So some of them are as tiny as this one, which is like hardly there at all, whereas this one is a big fat guy. And you can see he's also doing that thing along the tip where it gets fatter the more you use it, which is maybe just a characteristic of these markers, but it's very annoying. So my last set of, I guess, high-end pens are my Prismacolor pens, and these are the, whoa, I just threw it down the way, the Prismacolor Premier, I guess, fine line marker, and they are also an archival quality ink. So their tips, I have some of them that are a bit bigger, still not much bigger, but you can see in comparison they are getting bigger. Alright, so those are the numbers that I have in this pen. Everything else in my box is just regular pens, I suppose, that have kind of the flowing and running ink through them. So I really like these V5, what's upside down? V5 high-tech point pens with a 0.5 millimeter tip, which is really small, the same size as those, except instead of it being in a marker form where it has a felt tip that it comes through, this is just a normal pen nib that's made of metal, and it has a little measure thing there with the actual amount of ink that you have in your pens. So I love these pens. I think they're great. They write amazingly. The ink just flows out. This is like an old one, and this is a new one. So this is what the packaging looks like now. So because I like the quality of these pens and how they write, I picked up a few colors of them. Here's a third one of that same pen. So these are all in black, of course, and then these two are both in red. So I really like these as well. These are 0.7, so they're a little bit bigger. So the other two that I got are this Pilot High-Tech, the exact same thing, but it's in sort of a nice little pink. And then this one is in a blue, and as you can see, it's almost done, but I have it in here. Well, it is done. I have it in here to remind me to grab another one. So the only other 3 pens that I have in here are pretty standard. The first is a Sharpie pen. I just have a red one in here because I've been using that recently, but the other colors are actually in my studio right now. I also have this big grip roller, which is one of my favorite pens, and I've been using it a lot recently. It's just a ballpoint pen, but it's one where the ink flows out of it, so it's super easy to use. And then I also have this one, which is also a high-tech Pilot, the same as these, except, so this is like the new and improved higher quality packaging, except it's not as good because, as you can see, the tip of mine bent, and I don't know why. So other than my pencil box, the only thing I also have with me is a ruler, which doesn't fit in my pencil box, but that's what I use to draw. I hope that this was helpful to you guys and that it maybe gave you some ideas of what you could use, but honestly, you can use anything. You don't need high-end brands to get the result.